Waheguru Ji Ka Khalsa, Waheguru Ji Ki Fateh. Welcome to this segment of Khoj Gurbani's a-sabad-a-day. The recitation is Sri Rag Mahalla Pehla. For those of you interested in a line-by-line translation, please visit our website at www.khojgurbani.org. The recitation of the Sabad is as follows. Sri Rag Mahalla Pehla. रे मन ऐसी हर स्यों प्रीत कर जैसी जल कमले लहरी नाल पछाड़िए भी विगसे असनेह जल मह जीव पाय कै बिन जल मरण तिनेह मन रे क्यों छूटे बिन प्यार गुरमुख अंतर रब रया बक्से भगत भंडार रहाओ रे मन ऐसी हर स्यों प्रीत कर जैसी मछली नीर ज्यों अदक्यो त्यों सुख घणो मन तन शांत शरीर बिन जल घड़ी न जीवई प्रभ जाने अब पीर रे मन ऐसी हर स्यों प्रीत कर जैसी चात्रिक में सरभर थल हरियावले एक बूंद न पवई केहे कर्म मिलै सो पाइयै किरत पया सिर देह रे मन ऐसी हर स्यों प्रीत कर जैसी जल दुध होए अवटन आपे खवै दुध को खप्पन न दे आपे मेल विछुनिया सच वडियाई दे रे मन ऐसी हर स्यों प्रीत कर जैसी चकवी सूर खिन पल नींद न सोवई जाने दूर हजूर मनमुख सोजी ना पवै गुरमुखे सदा हजूर मनमुख गणत गणावणी करता करे सो होए ताकि कीमत ना पवै जे लोचै सब कोय गुरमत होए तां भाईऐ सच मिले सुख होए सच्चा नेहो न टुटई जे सतगुर भेटै सोए ज्ञान पदार्थ पाईऐ त्रिभुवन सोजी होए निर्मल नाम न विसरै जे गुण का गाहक होए खेल गए से पंखणु जो चुगदे सर तल घड़ी की महोत की चलना खेलन अज कै कल जिस तू मेलह सो मिलै जाए सच्चा पिड़ मल बिन गुर प्रीत न उपजै हव मैं मैल न जाए मोह आप पछाणिए शब्द भेद पतिआए सोहंग आप पछाणिए शब्द भेद पतिआए गुरमुख आप पछाणिए अवर कै करे कराए मिलिया का क्या मेलिए शब्द मिले पतिआए मनमुख सोजी ना पवै विछड़ चोटां खाए नानक दर कर एक है अवर न दूजी जाए नानक दर कर एक है अवर न दूजी जाए. Now, in the previous passage, we had noted that the Guru mentioned Mukta Padarth, or the meaning of liberation. This passage mentions Gyan Padarth Paya Tribhavana Soji Hoy. That is, when spiritual wisdom is received, an intuitive awareness of the Creator's presence is felt, is experienced. Tribhuvan simply means the different planes of existence, refers to the entire creation. And the condition for this awareness to arise in us is Nirmal Naam Na Visare Je Gun Ka Gahak Hoye. In other words, the cultivation of divine virtues or excellences is a precondition for self-knowledge to take root in oneself. So the question in the reflection here is, Without love or without union with the self, how can freedom from the ego, haume, be found? Man re kyun chhoote bin pyar? And the answer is, the Guru guided are blessed with loving devotion and recognize the self within. Gurmukh antar ravaraya bakse pagat bandar. So the key is cultivation of a loving relationship with the self, the creator within us. The Guru then goes on to offer several examples of love and exhorts the mind to follow them. Re man aise har siu preet kar. Love the self, jaise jal kamlaye, like the lotus loves the water. Lehri naal pashariye, bhi vigse asne. It blooms despite being tossed around in the shifting scum of the pond. Then again, Re man aisi har siu preet kar, jaisi machli neer. Jiu adko tyo sukh gano, man tan sant sarir. This is the fish delighting in water. The deeper the water, the happier the fish, and the more fluidly it moves, much more at ease. Further, Re man aisi har siu preet kar, jaisi chatrik mein hai. Sar par thal haryavale, ik boond na paave ke. Now the reference is to the rainbird that wants to catch a drop, just a drop of the rain directly in its mouth. And if it does not, then it ignores the water around it. The brimming waters, parathal, the lush green landscape, means nothing to it. And then again, Re man aisi har siu preet kar, jaise jal dudh hoye. Avatan ape khapiye, dudh ko khapan na de. Here, talking about the protective love of water for milk. We know, for instance, that when you add a little bit of water, it prevents the coagulation of the proteins in the milk from sticking to the bottom of the pan. But in the process, it evaporates itself. And then there is the last example of Re man aisi har siu preet kar, jaise chakvi sur. This is talking about the sheldrake or the shelduck that cannot see the dark and yet presumes that the sun is shining so that it can find its mate. It spends the night awake even though it can't see in the dark. Now, in all of these examples, we see the intensity, the sacrifice, equanimity, and longing of love. However, our minds are clouded by self-centeredness, and that hides our awareness of the self, and the mind is deluded into believing that its accomplishments are its own. In other words, it thinks that it is the karta, the doer, forgetting that the doer is one, and that one is the enabler. Manmukh soji na pave. Does not grasp that awareness. And that awareness of the self can only come through Gur wisdom. Bin Gur Preet na upajay, haume mel na jai. That's the stamp of Gurbani here. Without Gur wisdom, the distortion of haume inhibits us from falling in love with the self because we are not aware of the self. But with Guru wisdom dawns this self-knowledge and it leads to self-realization. When the discourse of the enlightener reveals the mystery of the self, the mind is then allured, fascinated, and recognizes the self within. Sohang aap pashaniye shabad ped patiyaye. Ped, the mystery, is revealed. When that happens, it is mission accomplished. When the Gur guided or recognized the self within, well, what else is there to do? Gurmukh aap pashaniye, avar ke kare karaye. With those thoughts, until the next time, Waheguru Ji Ka Khalsa, Waheguru Ji Ki Fateh.